As you know, our purpose of this conversation is to see if we can find ways to encourage other aortic dissection survivors. And you've had 3 surgeries, and I just want to be able to put the story out there so people know and get hope from your story, get encouraged, get motivated, so that because a lot of people with this condition, after they have surgery, they're afraid to live, they're afraid to as I call it, never stop living, stay strong. They don't know what their limitations are. The doctors say that they can only live 5 to 10 pounds limitation, stuff like that. Of course, I know the doctors are trying to be careful in giving their advices, but people are wondering, like, really, I can't even lift a jug of milk. So I wanted to get your background. So let's start with that. Tell us about your background.
Well, my name is Kris Dim, IFBB Pro. I've been competing since I was 17. I turned pro when I was 30. And then the following year when I was 31, I competed in the Mr. Olympia. Obviously, that was a dream come true. I never thought that I was going to be able to get that far, but I've always shoot high. It's just that a lot of times I'm thinking, you got to earn your dues. And when I got into getting my pro card, the following year, I took top 3 next to Lee Priest and Dexter Jackson, and qualified for the Mr. Olympia right off the bat. And so to me, that was, like hitting the Super Bowl.
Yes, yes.
Exactly what it is for bodybuilders.
That's awesome.
And it just went from there. And I was the first Asian to get on the Mr. Olympia stage. First Asian to be on the Flex magazine cover, Muscular Development cover. So to me, I was pretty stoked up because there's only one. Hide's right now is doing well, but I was the first, buddy.
Who was it again?
Hide.
Hide. Okay. Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, but you're the first. That's right.
Yeah, and then 2007, I had basically my aorta burst. I didn't get a chance. It was the same thing what John Ritter died from.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that if it wasn't for me being young and working out and healthy, I probably would have died, because 99% of the people don't live through it.
Yeah, especially a rupture.
Yeah, especially a rupture. And I coming back was the same thing. I mean, picking up a 3-pound weight, I was out of breath right away. Getting on the treadmill, slowly working myself back to normal, and miraculously, muscle memory comes back pretty fast. You'd be pretty amazed. And 2 years later, 2009, everything was back to normal. I mean, had all my size back, and I was lifting not extremely heavy like I used to, but able to still get blood volume to still build enough muscle. So yeah, there's some changes that need to be made, but it's not picking up a 3-pound weight. You can actually do a lot better than that. It's just that you have to listen to your body, but at the same time, you have to also understand that you can't go out there and power lift like you used to, because it can burst again.
Right.
So 2009, muscle memory came back really fast, and doctor told me in 2007 that I'll never be able to train again, never be able to compete again, kiss my career goodbye. You're gonna have to figure something else out. And I wasn't ready to end my career like that. I wanted to end it when I wanted to end, and I came back in 2009 and did another Mr. Olympia and qualified for my 3rd one again right off the bat.
Wow.
And then right after that, that's when I chose, okay, it's time to retire. It's time to, throw in a towel, because, my health is more important.
Right.
And as soon as I said that, 2010...
Well, let's back up to 2007, when it first started. So what happened? Where were you? What were you doing? And like that moment right before the dissection, what was happening?
Well, I can remember it so super clear, because
What day was it?
this was so extraordinary at the same time. It happened basically in May. It's right in my training studio.
Okay.
It basically, I was training my client, and I wasn't doing anything strenuous, and I felt the 1,000 pound on my chest, and it's so heavy at that time that I dropped. And when I dropped, I told my clients, call the ambulance. And luckily, through meditations and working out, I was able to slow my breathing down enough to where, I was barely alive, pretty much barely alive, where I could keep myself going and trying to relax, because I knew that if I would have got excited, if I would have got worked up, I don't think I would have been here. But I was able to slow my breathing down. All I remember was the ambulance came and picked me up, and that was the last memory when I woke up.
Wow.
I had tubes in my stomach. I had, my chest was cracked, and I was still alive. But during the surgery, they told my family that they weren't sure if I was going to wake up. And if I was probably going to wake up with brain damage and paralysis put together.
Wow.
And when I got up, it's at 9 Live. I think I'm down to probably 5. They basically, I woke up, I was, walking to point A to point B. That's when I was out of breath. It was like I was coughing. I don't know if you remember that cough when you try to get all that junk out. And every time you cough, you felt like your chest was going to rip.
Right, yes. Did you get a heart pillow to hug onto?
I get a little baby pillow, that doesn't even fit me. And I had to hold on to it. And basically, at that point, it was very depressing. It was, I didn't know what was going to happen, especially being that the doctor told me I'm never going to be able to train again. And, when you've done it all your life and it's your passion, it's your joy, and someone tell you you're never going to be able to do it again, it does mess with you, But I just listened to my body, and, getting on a treadmill really, really slow, walking again. I mean, my training center was upstairs, so I had to walk upstairs, and they told me to take a couple months off, and it was not even 2 weeks I was back at work.
Oh, wow.
I was, I walked up the stair, and I remember just getting up the stair was a challenge.
Wow.
But I just sat there. And I just told my client what I wanted them to do, because if I would have stayed home at that point, I think I would have buried myself and got more depressed. You know that feeling where you're sitting there doing nothing. That's when the enemy really creep up on you and try to really mess with you.
Right.
So I sat there and I trained my clients. I mean, they were surprised that I was back, but I just wasn't going to stay home. And then I just started, getting on the treadmill, and slowly but surely went from walking, went from running, and then basically, got my cardiovascular started coming back again.
Okay.
Started picking up 3-pound weight. I just started listening to my body. I didn't, I'm not disregarding the doctor, but at the same time, they don't know my body.
Right.
They can't sit there and tell me, that this isn't going to happen and that isn't going to happen.
Right.
I just knew that if I listened to my body, and if I felt like I was going to, getting tired and getting beat up, I just stopped.
Right.
And I just I scale myself back down again.
Okay.
And that was kind of how I started the journey back up. So
when the doctor found you, your ascending aorta had ruptured, and then what else happened to your aorta?
Well, going back to, a lot of people go, well, why did your aorta rupture?
Yeah.
Well, high blood pressure, high cholesterol runs in my family.
Okay.
My dad died from a stroke at 54. Mom's got high blood pressure. And, working out and eating and doing what, we do as bodybuilders, I'm pretty sure that doesn't help. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. High protein, high fat, and eating, 10 times the normal person. That all has to do with it too. But that's how it started. That's how it ruptured. But it was just that top part next to the heart. That's the one that they fixed right away.
Okay.
And after I competed in 2009, we went back and did another CT scan, and found that the second part of my aorta needed to be replaced too. That's the one that goes to basically the right brain, left brain, right hand, left hand.
Okay.
That basically, those fingers goes to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to fix that, so they cracked my chest for the second time again.
Okay.
And they did that part, and the journey started all over again. Walking up point A to point B, out of breath, start picking up 3-pound weights again, getting on the treadmill again. It was just starting all over again like the first. The only difference is, it didn't burst. It was, we fixed it on time.
And this time, was it a dissection, or was it an aneurysm, or what happened the second time? What were they fixing?
The aneurysm.
It was an aneurysm, okay.
Yeah, it was starting to balloon up, so that portion needed to be fixed also.
I remember you said it was pretty high. The aneurysm was pretty big. What was the numbers? Do you remember?
God, let's see here. Well, the normal one is is 2%. Is what
2.5, something like that. 2 to 2.5.
2 to 5. This was 6, almost 7%.
Almost 7. Okay.
7, yeah.
Okay.
So it ballooned up to where it can burst.
Yes.
And I know that if that part burst, I really don't think I was going to live.
Right. Right.
So we fixed that because we needed to get it done, and then, we wanted to get all of it fixed. The last portion, they decided to do the stent. And my second doctor is a different hospital, told my third doctor, don't do a stent. It won't hold up. You have to do a full cut them all the way across and open them up. And if you fix him the right way, he should be good.
Okay.
And they wanted to shortcut it anyway, so they decided to do the stent.
Oh.
And that's when, basically, you're talking about April 2012. That's when, I was actually doing a big seminar meeting, and I started sweating really bad. I started having chest pain again. It wasn't as bad, but I knew something was going on.
Okay.
So I drove myself to the doctor, and I drove myself to the first hospital, who I have now, but I won't mention their name.
Right.
I realized that there's no way they would have been able to fix it, because their doctor doesn't have that technology there, and I knew they were going to set me off to another doctor anyway. So I went to the second hospital, and I went in, and blood pressure is 240 over 180.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so they took me in right away, and they did a CT scan. That's when they found out the blood flow was going around the stent instead of through the stent.
Oh,
That's when they did an emergency cut. And that's when they did that cut that the second doctor told him to do anyway. Second doctor did my 4th surgery.
Okay.
So after he did it, I woke up, and I was still pretty much drugged up anyway, so I couldn't, I was still couldn't really tell what was going on. And 2 days later, he came in, and he looked like he was in tears, because I know he was sincere, because he became a friend. And he goes, I did everything right, Kris. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. I'm so sorry, but you have a spinal cord injury.
Okay.
And that's when I tried to feel my legs and couldn't feel anything.
Wow.
Still drugged up. Thought it was a nightmare. Thought it wasn't real. I like, there's no way I have a spinal cord injury. And when reality sinked in, I knew I had a spinal cord injury.
Wow.
And at that point, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel, but I knew I didn't want to be stuck in a wheelchair. Nothing against people that's in a wheelchair.
Right.
But I knew for me, I was willing to do whatever it takes to get myself out of the wheelchair. And that's the commitment that I made to myself, that I'm going to get out of this wheelchair, no matter whatever it takes me, no matter how hard it takes me, how long it takes me. I wasn't going to quit, and I wasn't going to stop no matter what. And I made a commitment to myself, and they sent me to rehab. about 3 weeks just to be able to just this basic things we take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sitting on the toilet. You know, just getting on the toilet, getting on the bed, just transferring myself and learning how to just maneuver without your legs. And you don't realize how heavy your legs is until you have to push yourself off of it when your legs isn't working. Picking up dead weights and your upper body's picking up dead weight. So it's hard. I mean, I think the best way to explain it is those of you that don't understand, it's like if you're looking at the clock that ticks, you're trying to move the clock with your eyes. That's what that feels like. That's what the connection feels like with spinal cord injuries. And there's different type of spinal cord injuries. When they sent me to the rehab center for 3 weeks, they decided to figure out where my injury was, and I have what they call a T11, which is right below the belly button.
Okay.
And then they try to figure out if there's any movement whatsoever coming from anywhere from my lower half, and nothing was moving. And that's when they diagnose you, and they call it complete spinal cord injury, where incomplete, you're still able to move something.
Okay.
Complete means you have absolutely no movement whatsoever. And they basically wanted to put me on antidepressants. The doctor came in, and I told him, you know, Doc, I wanna go ahead and really deal with this on my own, and if I feel like I need it later on, then I'll let you know, but I really appreciate it. And I dealt with it. I dealt with it, and you know, in that 3 weeks of rehab, I mean, it was the loneliest feeling, depressing feeling there is. So, you know, those of you that are going through it, let me tell you, I've been cracked twice with the stent, cracked from my whole body, when you know, and when you're born with abs, excuse me, can't see your abs the same anymore. Half your abs have been deformed from being cut. It messes with you, trust me.
Yes.
And so my body was never going to be the same again. You know, when you've been a bodybuilder, and that's all been about your body and you know, basically what you look like, and all of a sudden now you take off your shirt, and you got 2 cracked here, you got a little incision from them doing, you know, getting you to breathe.
Yes.
You got 4 holes here. You got, I look like I came out of a, you know, basically a war zone. It is depressing, and the legs is depressing, and you sit there and you deal with it, and it's not easy. But I can tell you, I started listening to a lot of personal development and started listening to stuff that was going to, you know, perk me back up, get me to where I can basically not thinking for myself, using a lot of motivational CDs, and that really what helped me through, and that really what got me when I was in that 3 weeks of rehab to really just, you know, deal with it.
So, do you have, even though you can't move, do you have sensation? Can you feel the touch?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Now, that's then.
Okay.
3 years will be in April, and now I can move my toes.
Oh, wonderful.
You know, I can, the sensations are coming back. I can feel touch, heat. I can't feel heat, but every time when something is in pain, it will shoot off of my side from being cut. So the crazy part about it is I wouldn't be able to feel it where it was at, but I can feel it, the pain that's shooting on my side. For some reason, it just it shoots up, so I can feel that. But you know, it's coming back. I believe 100% it's going to be back. I mean, I can pedal on the bike. I'm excited about that now. So
wow.
I can get on the spin bike and sit there, and my legs are going. And so, you know, just like anything else in life, if you do something, you know, you're going to go through a lot of hard work. You're going to go through a lot of stuff where you feel like, man, I put in so much hard work. Why is nothing happening to me? And it works in like, I think the best way to explain it is like steps. You know, you go up, and then there's that plateau you hit, and you don't know how long that plateau is going to be, but it will break, and then it'll come up again, and you get another plateau again, and it keeps doing that. So nothing in life is ever a straight line. You just have to work through it, and I know that if I just kept pushing myself through, it's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I mean, I think a lot of people are too worried about how they're going to do it, how they're going to make it work. The first step is to get up and just go do it. Once you go do it, the know-how will figure itself out. You know, you want to call it, God, you want to call it the universe, you want to call it whatever you want, but it will figure itself out. It will align you with the right people, the right circumstances, the right event. It'll put you in a situation where something's going to happen to you. I don't know what, I might be walking with some gadget. I might be walking like a robot. I don't know how it's going to work, but I know it's going to happen, and I just have to keep myself on the end, the prize. That's it, and that's walking again. That's my prize. I don't know what your guys' prize is, but for me, it's walking again, and I'm excited every time when I think about the final prize, and that's what keeps me going.
Okay, that's awesome. I mean, in Aortic Warriors, people gave me compliments about how I'm inspiring and motivating, but I actually look at you because you went through four surgeries.
4 surgeries.
4 surgeries, and the last one rendered you being paralyzed. Yet you're still pushing it. You're still going to the gym. You're still staying motivated. And of course, I'm sure all of us have dark times when we're alone and stuff going on in our head. But you get up every morning and you just go and continue to push it. So, you're an inspiration to me, and I wanted people to know you, to meet you, and to hear your journey, where you've been. And even right now, what you're going through, even on a day-to-day basis, all the tough things that you've gone through, but yet you wake up every morning and just, continue to keep your head up. So that's awesome, and it's amazing. So I want to thank you for that.
No, I appreciate it.
So anything else so you have 4 surgeries, maybe brief recap, the first surgery, second surgery, third surgery, fourth surgery, what did they do, and what did they fix? So that people can get an idea. Because some people are having second surgery, some people are afraid to get that third one. So nobody wants to be under the knife.
I think the best way to explain it, you got 4 portions really explaining.
Okay.
And without speaking the medical terms so everybody could understand, you got the first portion that's connected to the heart.
All right.
That one branches out. The second one is that connection from the first one. And then the third one, basically, so then there's a last portion. There's 4 of them that shoots across. Well, put it this way, the best way to explain me is that all of my aorta is synthetic. Oh. It's not real. So talking about that really fast, back in August, just this coming up, I had what do you call that? It's a staph infection in my aorta graft. Never heard that in my whole entire life. Oh. And my synthetic aorta could not fight it off, so it loves it. Oh my. That infection loves grabbing a hold of it and not letting go because of the fact that it's not real. And because of that alone, I was in the hospital with not only a staph infection, but with a pneumonia at the same time. And they pretty much at one time, they told my mom that they don't know if I'm going to make it or not. Again, same story, okay? This is what I'm talking about. I believe I was going to make it. I was sitting on that hospital bed and told myself, I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to go, and I'm going to live on this earth and I'm going to keep on going with my life. Nothing's going to change. And they kept me in the hospital for 3 weeks, sent me home with an IV that's connected. I didn't even know, but there's a main vein that shoots all the way across your heart. You probably know about it. But it shoots down, it comes all the way to heart. That's the one that they connected to. That way they didn't have to keep, I didn't have to keep poking myself. Okay. And that right there, I had this little gadget that I had to change the IV, the saline pretty much every morning. and I was pretty much pregnant with this little device. I had to take this thing with me everywhere. But I had it on for another month, and then I took it off, and I'm still on antibiotic.
Okay.
But they told me I'm probably going to be on antibiotic for the rest of my life. I said, F that.
Oh my.
It's not going to happen. That thing will clear up. I will find other ways of getting it clear up. But my brain is already connected in the sense where it's going to clear up. Remember, your brain is so powerful it can heal itself if you can find a connection. So figure out how to find that connection, you can get it done.
Okay.
You know, you might be able to do it quicker than I am just because you heard me say that. So, but yes, you can get it done.
But you make things possible. See, that's where I want to talk to you, because a lot of people, I mean, doctors know what they know, and they can only recommend us or suggest things to us based on their knowledge, but they've never actually gone through what we've been through, gone through what you've actually gone through, and the power that you have, and the power that you thought, that you said, that's in our mind, that what our mind can do. You're doing it. I mean, the doctor says you would never be able to walk, you would never be able to feel. Now you can move your toes. I mean, these are amazing progress that I think people should know about and not give up. So, you know, giving them hope that just don't give up, right? Just not giving up.
Well, giving up to me pretty much tells me that you have a block wall that's there, and you allowing the block wall to take over and says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and stay locked in here. Go over it, go under it, go around it, go through it, whatever you need to do. Don't stop. Just remember, if there's a will, there's a way. There's always a way if you're committed. Always a way if you're committed. I want you to understand, I want you to really keep that in your mind. There's always a way if you're committed. Most people do not stay committed long enough. Most people, the best way to explain it is looking out the window through a glass wall, and the wall gets a little foggy and they can't see through. Instead of getting up and re-wiping that window again so they can see clearly again, they allow that fog to take over and just sit back and watch and say, I can't see it anymore.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome. That's good. All right, well, anything else you would like to say to our survivors out there? Any words of wisdom, challenges that you've been through, anything else you can say to encourage them?
Well, you know, the best way that I can tell you is stop listening to yourself. Stop listening to your own mind. Start putting something positive in your mind constantly. Start putting those pictures up. Start visualizing what you really want in life. And keep it there. Keep it there. Don't let anybody shake you off of it. It's so easy to have somebody negative, you know, shake you off. Next thing you know, you allow yourself to be in that situation where, you know what, we're meant to do more. We're meant to do greater. The biggest thing is you get so beat up so many times that you allow yourself to just be down. Pick your head back up and keep on going, you know. You know, I always say keep pushing with a smile. Keep smiling. Even if the smile's not real, it will become real. It will become real. So just keep on going, guys. You know what? Just know that there's people out there that care for you, that willing to support you, that willing to do whatever they can to get you through it also. So, you know, just like, you know, Dr. Peter here and myself, and, you know, we all been through it. So, you know what? It's easy to say, well, you guys been through it and you guys are better, but see, you got to understand, you got to go through it yourself. You know, a lot of time when I talk to one of my mentor who's a millionaire, you know, he says, Kris, being a millionaire, anybody can be a millionaire. Anybody can win the lottery and be a millionaire. But it's the process that you have to go through to becoming a millionaire. That's what's going to go ahead and keep you from being broke. I want you to think that in your mind and everything in life, and just keep going, keep pushing, and just know that we love you, and you know, go for it. Don't stop.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you very much for your time. A virtual fist pump. Yeah. So hopefully, maybe we can get some of your photos. You can email them to me. I would love to be able to post your past, where you've been, and some of your the posts that you did on Facebook where you're on like a harness, trying to learn how to walk. Maybe picture of you in a wheelchair, making flux force or something.
Yeah. Just text me your email address, and what I'll do is I'll email it to you.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Thank you very much.